everyone, welcome back to my channel, Ship and Read. Today I'll be doing the 24 books that I want to read in 2024. Before I get started, if you're new to this channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below as well as the notification bell. And if you're new, hi, hello, I'm Stephanie and I do love bookish content. But I am shooketh that 2024 is pretty much knocking on our door and I have a lot of books I want to read. So this year I went through books that I wanted to read that I haven't read yet. I also picked up a couple books that are coming out in 2024, and then I also went through the Goodreads Choice Awards because there were a couple books that had won or that were nominated that I wanted to read as well. So I kind of accumulated all those books, and to be honest, it was kind of hard getting 24 books. I had maybe about 16 or 17 that were easy ones to pick up, and then the rest I was like low-key struggling to find. I was like, which one am I in the mood for? Which one do I want to read? But I managed to get 24 books, guys. So let's just start with all these books that I want to read in 2024. The first book over here is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is I want to say it's her foray into YA, and it is not like her STEM romances, but it's about like chess players. So I love her other books. So I'm really curious to see her writing being translated into like a YA audience instead. See if it's still like smutty, but like not that smutty. Probably a little bit more like faded black, but I want to know like about the romance. I want to learn about the characters. I want to learn about the dynamic. So really excited about this one. The next book I want to pick up is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book to the Alex Stern series. I remember being like okay about the first book, but the way how the book ended, I was very intrigued. And like I said in one of my previous videos, I am not a dark academia girly. The books generally would never be an amazing 5-star read for me. I've learned to accept that, but I'm still intrigued. And it's also Leigh Bardugo, so I really want to know what happens next in this series for sure. Next book on here is Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. This is a book that I feel like I've heard a lot of in the past couple of months, and I haven't picked it up yet. I've got this years ago and it's just been sitting on my shelf for a while. All I know is that it's about Glory Never Gets Old. It's about Clay, Cooper, and his band, who were once best of the best, the most feared and renowned crew of mercenaries this side of the Heartwild. Their glory days long past, the mercs have grown apart and grown old, fat, drunk, or a combination of the three. Then an ex-bandmate turns up at Glay's door for a plea for help, kind of mission that only the very brave or the very stupid would sign up for. It's time to get the band back together. This sounds like a great like friendship bonding type of book, and obviously fantasy as well. I mean, look at the cover, definitely some fantasy elements in there, or at least like medieval-ish. So definitely excited for this one, especially all the hype I've heard recently. Next book I have on here is A Trial of Sorcerers by Elise Kova. This is an author that I've heard so much about. I have not read any of her books before, but I do have the first books for a bunch of her series, and this is the one that I really want to tackle next year. I might tackle all three if I I'm aiming that high, but I definitely want to tackle this one at least. All I know is that this is ice in her blood, and it follows an 18-year-old water runner, Ira Landon, who lives her life in the shadow. She is the most unwanted apprentice in the Tower of Sorcerers until the day she decides to step out and compete for a spot in the Tournament of 5 Kingdoms. And now she's fighting to be one of the 4 champions. But soon she realizes that no reward is without risk. And as she comes into the spotlight, so too do the skeleton of a past she hadn't even realized was haunting her. I've heard great things overall. Another one that I've heard a lot of good things about is The Weight of Our Sky by Hannah Alcaf. This is a book that I've had for a couple years as well, but I've just heard so many good things about the story, the characters, and I don't really know too much about it. For some reason, I want to say, yeah, this is set in Kuala Lumpur, which is in Malaysia, and it is also a historical fiction. So overall, really intrigued by this one. This next book is one that I've heard so much hype about. It came out a couple years ago, and I got the book, haven't read it yet, and that is The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. This is the Fox and Wit edition, so it's very cute, very different than regular, but I'm really excited about it. I don't really know too much about this book, but it says, seek it if you wish, but as with all knowledge, whatever follows will be yours to bear alone. So it's 6 new recruits, reasons for accepting the society's elusive invitation, even if it means going closer than they could have imagined to their most dangerous enemies, or risking unforgivable betrayal from their most trusted allies. They will fight tooth and nail for the right to join the ranks of the Alexandrians. I just heard really amazing things about this series overall, guys. It's probably time for me to pick it up. Next one on here is one that I feel like I've had for a while back now, so hopefully I read it this year, and that is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. This is a series that has been out for so freaking long now. Obviously, have not read it yet, so I need to get my hands on this book and get that done soon. Another series that I need to pick up is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is the first book in the series, and this book definitely goes more into Nikolai, and I really enjoy his characters, so I'm definitely intrigued to find out what will happen with this series. And it's a duology, which I do have as well, so once I finish this book I can definitely pick up the next one ASAP. This next one is one that won another award for Goodreads this year, and that is Divine Rivals of Rebecca Ross. This book I've heard so many good things about. Like, I really love her as a writer, so I'm really happy that she's getting all the hype that she deserves. And this edition is absolutely stunning. I think I have the Fairy Loot edition. Yes, it is the Fairy Loot edition, and it is gorgeous. Like, I'm obsessed. So I love her books. She is a must-read author for me, so I cannot wait for this one. I also have An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. This came out I think a year or two ago, but I also have the Fairy Loot edition. I really enjoyed her The Astonishing Colors of the Poet, I believe it's called. Oh, I read that book so long ago. The Astonishing Color of After. And I really enjoyed that book. I did a whole reading vlog on that, I believe, years ago, maybe. I will link that above and down below to check it out. And all I know is that this is about reinterpretation of Romeo and Juliet, filled with romance, magic, and Chinese mythology. And it's about a guy who can, like, she's really good at archery. Another one on here is one that I have been trying to read for years now, and that is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I really enjoy her books too, so I really need to get on with this book. I'm hoping that once I have this on here, it will force me to read, because I do make a priority to read books from these lists as I make my TBRs throughout the year, so hopefully I'll get to it this year. Another series I really want to tackle and finish is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. The final book just came out, so it's time for me to read this stunning edition. This is the Fairy Loot edition, and I am so excited because this is a spin-off to Caraval, which I really enjoy, which I just read recently. I will link that reading vlog above and down below in case you want to check that out, but I adore that series. Definitely can't wait to continue on with this spin-off. Another series I'm hoping to tackle and continue this year is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is a book that is book 2. I read the first book when it first came out, and then I was like, I need to wait for the series, so there's a good chance I won't have to reread the first book because it's been a while since I read it and I don't remember what happened, but I cannot wait to continue on the series for sure. So this is the year, guys, for me to actually read this series. The next one I have is one that I've heard a lot of good things about, and I want to diversify some of my reading, and that is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This is like a romance book, and I've heard so many good things about it, like so many good things about it. All I know is that it says Knox Morgan doesn't tolerate drama, especially in the form of a stranded runaway bride. It follows Naomi Witt, who's on the run, not just from her fiance and a church full of well-wishers, but from her entire life. Too bad for Naomi, her evil twin hasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car and cash, Tina leaves behind something unexpected, the niece Naomi didn't know she had. Now she's a guardian to an 11-year-old going on 30 with no car, no money, and no plan. There's a reason this bearded bad boy barber doesn't get involved with high maintenance woman. So I'm guessing Knox Morgan is this barber, and I just heard so many good things. I'm really excited for this book, guys. This next book on here is also a series, and I feel like I need to just maybe 2024 is a year of series for me, guys, and that is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitman. This is a book that has come out a while ago. It's a duology. I have both books, and I am excited to read the series. It says the first daughter is for the throne, the second daughter is for the wolf. So I want to say it follows the second daughter's perspective and her story. Definitely can't wait to read this. I want to say this is also like Red Riding Hood related somehow, maybe like a reimagining or something. Next book I have on here is Frostblood, another series I need to start and read, and this is by Ellie Blake. This is a book that has been out for years now. I bought this back when I lived in New York, which is a long time ago. It says that this is about a world where flame and ice are mortal enemies, but together create a power that could change everything. So there is different types of blood, like fire blood, frost blood, and I'm guessing they are just at odds with each other. So very curious about this world. The next book I have on here is The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. This is the same author who wrote the Deal series, which is all about hockey players, and I am really excited because I really enjoy her writing. I really enjoy the romance in her other series, so I definitely cannot wait to continue and read this series from her. Then I have 2 thrillers back to back, YA thrillers I'm really excited for and definitely want to read in 2024. The first one is One of Us is Back by Karen M. McManus. This is the 3rd book in the series, and I really enjoyed the first book. The second book was okay if I remember correctly, but I want to know the conclusion to the series, so this is on the list. I want to finish it. And then the second one is 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I adored her previous series, The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. loved it, so I definitely cannot wait to read this one as well. The next one on here is one that has not come out yet, and that is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas. Obviously this book is on here. I am so hyped up for this book, guys. I am going to try to do a reread of, I think, Throne of Glass maybe, because I haven't read that series in ages, and I think it might be time for me to do a reread of that one just to give me some more insight on that world, since it is all part of the same universe. This is also the third book in the Crescent City series. The next one is also one that has not been released yet, and that is The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the second and finale to The Stolen Heir, which honestly it's an okay read for me, but I love the Cruel Prince series, so I want to do a reread of that series and then jump into this series altogether again, because I feel like it might give me more context and it might allow me to enjoy the first book more. The next one is one that also has not come out yet, and that is The Woman by Kristen Hanna. Kristen Hanna is a favorite author of mine. I think she is the lead favorite author of mine, to be quite honest. I haven't read a single book from her that I disliked, so I am so excited for this next book from her. And then because I just finished the whole Twisted series by Anna Huang, I need to pick up King of Wrath, which is book 1 in the next series, and it also follows someone that was introduced in book 3 of the Twisted series, so I cannot wait to continue on with the spin-off and hopefully get some tidbits and insight on the original series, original couples as well. And the last and final book that I want to read in 2024 is The Will of the Many by James Islington. This is one that kind of popped up out of nowhere for me, but then since then I haven't stopped hearing about it. All I know is like fantasy related, and it's supposed to be amazing, and it was also a nominee for one of the Goodreads Choice Award. I don't think it won though, if I'm not mistaken, but either way, though, I'm so intrigued by this book now. Anyways, these are all the books that I want to read in 2024. Let me know down below if you have read any of these books before, and if you have, what you guys think about them. What are you guys planning to read for the next year? I know this is still very early stages of 2024. It's not even 2024 yet, but I'm definitely hoping to finish all these books for next year, plus the series. So this is actually way more than 24, but still, I really want to finish these books, and now I'm really excited for the year. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. What are you guys reading for next year? But as always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, or just subscribe to my channel. And if you like to see more content of me, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below, as well as the notification bell. And as always, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.